Today I'm going to be talking about Kanye West, a rapper, producer, and father. Kanye West was born June 8, 1977 in Atlanta, Georgia to Ray and Donda West. The pair, although wouldn't stay together for too long, as they would eventually get divorced when Kanye was only 3 years old. After this divorce, Kanye's mother Donda decided to move him and herself to Chicago, where they would live on this house for 8 years on South Shore Drive. While living in this house, Kanye would get his first sampling keyboard and would start producing beats. Once he got good at it, he would start selling them for $50 to other local rappers in his area. Once he started selling his beats, he would build himself a little bit of buzz, which would eventually lead him to working with artists like Foxy Brown, The Goody Mob, and eventually even Jay-Z, and getting on his Blueprint album. After being on the Blueprint album, Kanye would get into a car accident, which would lead him to needing facial reconstruction surgery, as well as needing his mouth wired shut. While his mouth was wired shut, Kanye would write, rap, and produce his hit song Through the Wire, where he would rap while his mouth was wired shut. This song was recorded in 2002, shortly after his accident, and was released in September of 2003. With the success of his song Through the Wire, people would finally hear about Kanye and finally know who Kanye West was. After that Through the Wire success, Kanye would finally get signed by Rockefeller Records in 2002, and this would be a huge confidence booster for Kanye as he had just gotten signed, but Rockefeller really wanted him as a producer. They signed him as both a rapper and a producer, but mainly as a producer. Nevertheless, once he got signed, Kanye released his debut album called College Dropout, which dropped on February 10th, 2004. After the College Dropout, Kanye would drop another album in 2005 called Late Registration, followed by his third album, the Graduation album, which is one of my personal favorites, which was released in 2007. Kanye has had a plethora of albums that have had huge success and gotten major awards. Off the top of my head, I would say my top 3 albums would have to be the Graduation album, the 808s and Heartbreaks, and the Donda album, which is actually for his mother, Donda West. His mother, Donda, actually died on November 10th, 2007, which would take a big toll on Kanye, as growing up, he lived with his mother, so this was like his rock. This was his everything. So losing his mom took a big toll on him. Kanye was not only a rapper and producer, he would also dip his feet into the fashion industry. He would create a few pair of shoes for Nike, Adidas, and for Bape, if you know what that is. In 2013, Kanye dropped his line of Yeezys, which were still going on. I believe they just stopped this year because Kanye has been in some hot water for some anti-Semitic comments, but he dropped these in 2013, these with Nike in 2012, as well as these Bapestas all the way back in 2007. If you know Kanye, you know about Kim. Kim and Kanye first met in the early 2000s, but didn't really become friends until 2008. The couple didn't even begin dating until 2011. And then once they did start dating, it was what's the word? It was almost paradise. They were always happy, and they brought 4 kids into this world. They got North, Saint, Chicago, and Passam. After 7 years of marriage, Kim and Kanye finally broke up. Kanye was divorced, and Kim decided to go move on rather quickly to go be with this other celebrity, Pete Davidson. This would lead to Kanye making various, you could call them threats or disses towards Pete Davidson, and he would even refer to him in one of his songs saying, "This afternoon, 100 goons pulling up to SNL," because that's where Pete would work at. And basically, Kanye was too much for Pete and would eventually cause Pete to go to rehab for PTSD because he was so worried of Kanye. As of right now, Kanye has won 24 Grammys and has been nominated for 75 overall. He has taken home 9 BET Awards and has 84 singles that have gone platinum. Kanye even ran for president in 2020 and became close friends with President Trump. But he didn't really have that much of a chance of winning, and a lot of people kind of took him as a joke. As of right now, Kanye's latest album that he's released was his Donda album in 2020, which was named after his mother. And as of right now, Kanye has been dropped from Yeezy, so he's been dropped from Adidas, as well as Gap. And the reason is because he said a few questionable things. Right here, he tweeted, "I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people." That's a little wild. I don't think that's good, but I don't know why he would say that. What I think of Ye, honestly, I think Kanye is constantly misunderstood. I think a lot of the times he says stuff and people just want to take it and run with it and turn it bad and make it as bad as they can. I feel like Kanye is really misunderstood and people always want to flip the script and make him the bad guy. Overall, I think Kanye is a great guy and a great father.